Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 64 of the Horseman podcast. It's a recorded edition because fuck my internet upload speed, apparently. It would not let me stream. So, it's back to the old school for this time only. So, without further ado, myself, Ricky.
Yellow.
Raphael.
Hello.
And returning for the first time in God knows how long, Hannah!
Hello, everybody. I've been busy, so, well...
We've all been busy, trust me. But
Yeah,
thankfully,
work
we're
and
almost
or
there.
other shit.
Well,
Yeah.
I had to grade a lot of 10th and 8th graders in my English classes, and that took up all of my time.
Especially
stuff with the infamous quotes like, I visited a sweat little cafe and ordered some crap.
That's one of my students wrote in their exam, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. I can promise you that. There were awesome uses of English grammar and vocabulary, and it's just funny every time you come across stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yes, good stuff there, ja.
Ja, natürlich. Sehr tolle Sachen, die man da so liest.
¿Qué? ¿Qué dijo, señora?
I just said that there's a lot of awesome stuff that you come across when you read great papers.
That's my response. When you speak German, I'm like, I always go Spanish. I'm like, perdón? Disculpe, señora?
Muy bien.
Oy vey.
But as you can tell by Raphael's hat, it's Christmas season.
Yay!
Whack!
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry
What the
Christmas.
fuck?
And a happy
New
Year. Feliz Navidad.
The Christmas lights are awesome, Raphael.
Around his neck.
Or in the mortal words of Sabaton. God, I've been jamming that song for the past couple of weeks.
I
The
need to
Christmas
listen
truce.
to that. I haven't listened to that one.
You need to. It's a good song. I mean,
But
the
then
story
again,
of the.
I am the
but
Grinch.
anyway,
I hate Christmas.
you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
You really are a heel. I've been obsessed with the Grinch as of late since I've watched the movie back and shit.
They're giving it like every other hour on ABC and on
Good.
freaking-
Good.
Oh, which I don't mind. I mean, I
Yeah.
love the Grinch.
Never those who's inviting
Out
me
there
down
now.
there on such short notice. Even if
But
I
I'm
wanted
going,
to go.
I'm going to watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with my 8th graders on Tuesday.
I forgot that's almost a Christmas movie. Kind of.
And then I'm going to see...
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is the best Christmas movie there is.
You want a good Christmas game for all you kids out there?
Yippee-ki-yay!
Meanwhile, and I'm seeing Spider-Man tonight.
Mm.
How I've avoided spoilers for this long, I do not know. But anyways, before we get into the topic of this episode, it's present time, open up and see what's inside. Since Hannah, first time you've been in here for a while, let's see your presents first.
Go.
Yay.
And-
I mean, I knew that I would be getting this one. Since Ricky ordered it via Bandcamp, and whenever you order something via Bandcamp for a friend, you always get a notification, so I knew what would be in there. I haven't given it a listen, but I will do
It's
so
a great
during the
album.
holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So I will give this a listen. Thank you very much, Ricky. I will put it on sometimes over the Christmas days.
Mm-hmm.
Let's focus on this one. Or I know. I think I would take this one first. I think this is Napalm Records. I think this is from Raphael. So let's
Napalm Records.
Let's see what we have here.
Let's open this. And the thing is, I'm still waiting for another package from Napalm Records. Fucking 1914.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So away with the wrapping. This already looks interesting.
Ooh, let's see what we have here.
That's awesome. Thank you, Raphael. This is fucking Satyricon.
Oh.
Nemesis Divina. Oh,
Mm.
yeah. On Mother North. That's one of my favorite songs from Satyricon. Thank you very much, Raphael.
Which, thank God for Discogs. Thank fucking God. Whoever
Yes.
invented that, you're
Hey, whoever met the disc golf, you should applaud yourself.
Yeah. So, a lot of wrapping. And then I have something from Eric.
That would be
I
from
think
me.
it's- Yes. Let's see what's in here.
And the fact I got you this before I could get it for myself, even though I can't find it on CD right now, so...
Kudos.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
No, you don't. You don't know what it is. Once you see it, you'll be like, oh, I didn't think of that.
I wasn't expecting that.
Very well packaged, by the way.
Hmm.
But I mean, I've ordered from Eric before, and they always package everything rather well. Is this? Dismember?
Yep. The first Dismember album, like an ever-flowing stream.
Oh, never mind.
Well, I'm not familiar with Dismember, but I will give it a listen.
Oh, since we all love left... Wait a second.
What?
Archer
What?
is here!
What?
It happened 2 episodes in a row.
Oh my God! Oh my
Arthur!
God! The stars have aligned.
Yeah. Coming in from break.
Arthur, you son of a bitch!
We
Thank
just
you,
started
Levi.
opening presents. So yeah, Hannah, so
Yeah,
that
you see it.
album...
You see it. I'm still wearing my work attire.
Ooh, fancy.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I got my break, so it's just enough time. It's just enough time for just to give you my list if you haven't done already.
I mean, if he wants to, you can get your list out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
But real quick, so yeah, Hannah, that album, like an ever-flowing stream, that along with Entombed Left Hand Path is among, I think, the best of early Swedish death metal. And actually,
Sorry guys, I don't have that much time for my break, so I just made this quick cameo just to give you my list in the first person.
Go for it.
Sorry about that. So, I got a number of honorable mentions. Yes, Ricky, I did not put Iron Maiden in my top 10 list, but it's for obvious reasons. But it's honorable mention.
Which I will talk about later. I know why, but go on.
Senjutsu. I have an album that has very much grown on me, and all I have to say is welcome to Sarajevo, 1914, where fear and weapons meet.
Nice.
Which I still say, thank you, Hannah, and thank you, Ricky, for showing me this band.
You're welcome.
Therion's Leviathan, Epica's Omega, Amenra's D. Dorden, thanks Malachi Black, and I mentioned that as well. Where I got it, Fear Factory Aggression Continuum, King of Asgard's Svarter Dvirder, I don't know how to say this is in Icelandic. So, and Artillery X. These are my honorable mentions.
All right.
As for my list, number 10, Powerwolf's Call of the Wild. Number 9, XDO's 13 years of Nero. It's actually quite good than I would think. Number 8, Carcass Torn Arteries. No question. Number 7, Flowers by Swallow the Sun. One nod to Ricky, so to say. Number 6, Hypocrisy's Worship. It's one of the best melodic death metal albums that I've listened. Second only to one that I'm sure Mr. Levi will have it on his list, I hope. Number 5, Panopticons, and again, Into the Light. Number 4, and this is very much a nod to my home country, Tarantulas, Thunder Tunes from Lusitania, and this is actually the first album from, and this is what I mentioned, it's the oldest Portuguese band still active, led by two brothers, the Barros brothers, Paulo and Rui, guitarists and vocalists, and as I said, older than Attic Demons, older than Gwydion. This is among the first Portuguese metal bands that has ever existed. And if you don't, and I recommend everyone, if you want to get in touch to Portuguese power metal or even Portuguese heavy metal, check out their debut album, Kingdom of Lusitania.
Yes, it's so good. I've been trying to find a copy of that.
It's rare. Even the ones that I found in some specialty stores are quite expensive.
Ew.
Number 3, Raid's Wild Northwest. Probably one of the best black metal albums out there. Number 2, Asphyx, Necroceros. This will be shocked if Levi does not have on his list. And number 1, this one was a bit of a doubter because either was Asphyx or this album that was going to be number 1 or number 2, and instead of making 1 and 1A, I said screw it. Asphyx number 2, KK Priest's Sermons of the Sinner is my album of the year.
Yeah, I was shocked you actually had that as number 1. I was like, maybe Asphyx is
too.
going to be number 1.
I was shocked too, but then when I started to listen even more, I'm thinking it's KK Downing, it's Ripper Owens, it's Priest as it should be, so to say, because number 1, KK Downing never should have left the band, and now especially with Glenn Tipton now suffering from Parkinson,
it'd be a good time for him to come back.
Yeah, but we'll see. And it's Ripper Owens. Damn it, it's the most underrated era of the band. But this is actually has more in tune with more Redeemer of Souls in that aspect. But still, Asphyx I could have put easily 1 and 1A. If I would do that, I would do KK Priest 1A, Asphyx 1. But since I couldn't,
Yeah.
so
It is what it is.
and I have to get back to work in a moment.
All
But
right.
once again, I'm sorry, guys, for the post office problems. I'm sorry for
It's fine.
It's not your fault.
It's not your
Yeah.
fault, trust me. Hey, we tried our best. We tried our best, trust me. But as Sabaton, as
one
Sabaton
thing that
said,
yes. Oh, and I'll say Christmas Truce was a bit my vote for Song of the Year. I mean, ever since it came out, it has never left my head, and I listen to it regular because it is a story, but it's a story that everyone should follow. Tonight we are brothers. Tonight we are with our friends. A moment of peace. And but I'll say I'll be sending you each of you Portuguese metal album from bands that I like very much.
Mhm.
A bit in those genres, if I could be one death, one black metal, so to say. And I'll see what I can do in the next few days, but probably it will get there by January. Once
Don't
again,
worry about
You,
that.
you don't worry, trust me. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
sure. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye. Merry
See you.
Christmas.
See you, Arthur.
See ya. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
That was a pleasant
I-
surprise.
But thank God, for a minute there, we were all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who's next in opening
But
gifts?
back to Hannah. Did you have any others to open up?
No,
Or was that
I mean, since Arthur hasn't arrived yet,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Thank
so
you.
Satyricon, Nemesis Divina, and Dismember, like an ever-flowing stream. As I said with that Dismember album, since we all love Left Hand Path so much, that one's a close second when it comes to Swedish Death.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Give
the
it
song
a listen.
Skin Her Alive. It's so raw and ugh. Plus, it was members of Michael Amott's old band Carnage before. So there you go.
Mhm.
So little family tree there with that album.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I got it for you before I got it for myself, but then again, I've been trying to look for it on CD. I cannot find it. I'm hoping it
You'll
gets
find-
reissued at some point.
eventually the copy will show up, I'm sure.
Unless it's gonna happen, the same thing happened to Winter. We bought the album and then it got fucking reprinted.
Yeah. All right, Raphael. Let's get to your pleasance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming eBay's for you, Ricky.
What?
Yeah, eBay
That's
from
from
you.
eBay.
Yeah, mine's from
Mad
a
Rush
little buddy,
Media.
Mad Rush Media, which I'm giving a big shout out to him since I bought him from the past couple of
bought-
years. My
Same
God,
here.
does he have a shitload of underground stuff?
Yes. Let's see what you got for him.
Mm-hmm. You'll be pretty surprised what I got you.
Sabaton.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Show the album. Which one I got?
Which one is it?
The Mayhem, the one I've been searching for years. The
Oh,
original
I
from
can't-
God bless his soul, man.
Oh, The Mysterious?
The Mysterious Dome Satanas.
I couldn't tell for a second because of the card being taped on the case.
There he is.
But yeah. But which Sabaton album was that?
He
Code,
gave me
code
Coats
to
of
arms.
Arms.
Coat of Arms. Probably my favorite Sabaton album, since it has probably my favorite Sabaton song.
I agree. Thank you, Ricky.
No problem.
All right. Here's Hannah's gift. Let's see what we got.
Do, 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 do.
God, now I want to play that song on guitar, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy. Alright, let's see.
Okay, there's a paper. Nice. Another Watang album to my collection.
Mm.
Which one?
It seems like a 2. Let's see.
No, there are 4 on there.
Damn. 4-disc?
Yeah.
Was the box set, right?
No, it's not. It looks like a box set.
But maybe they're all there, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I think this is like. Yeah, no, this both of them are Watang. Let's see.
And now he must reveal.
Yeah.
So, more Watane for Raphael to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The second one to my collection. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think the first 4 albums are on there.
I mean, aren't they like or just like 5 albums in general?
Yes. Yeah, I think all albums should be on there except the latest one.
Which I think he or Raphael already had. So yeah, I guess you kind of
almost complete.
Casus Luciferi, Lawless Darkness, Rabbit Death Curse, and Sworn to the Dark should be on there, if I remember correctly.
The shark, you said? Let's see. I don't see. I'll read this. Oh, Sworn to the Dark, yeah. It's on the 2007 one. Thank you.
Which
this band live. Really good band live. Hilarious too.
Yeah.
which I'm still envy that you saw them live, and I might see them live next year. I might with Midnight. I'm still thinking about it.
Get to see them. Midnight and Watain both are awesome live.
I might go see them live. It's in Houston, so
Evil like a knife.
I wish Midnight and Hellripper would reschedule their tour they were going to do, because I would love to go see both bands, especially Hellripper, and meet with James.
I know. That would be kind of cool. All right, Raphael, and now Levi's.
And now my presence.
Let's see.
And now, the reveal of number 1. It is...
El número 1.
Ichiko.
Or German, I'm trying to remember what was for 1.
Oh.
Opeth Blackwater Park.
That's a good one.
Thank you. No, necesito número 2.
And then... this one I was shocked you didn't have already in the collection. So I was like, you know what? Might as well. And it is...
Metallica Master of Puppets.
Really? You didn't have Master?
I don't have that either.
Load.
Shame! But yeah, and it was only $5 on Amazon too, so I was like, screw it, why not?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, 0.
Alrighty, now Ricky's presents.
Ooh. So first of all, we have something from Seasons of the Mist.
Season of Mist Records.
So we're from Hannah. So, Hannah, you said that one of them was one of my birthday presents, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see.
Yeah, I just ordered everything together.
All right. So I filled 3 albums.
Yes.
But I'm trying. So let's see what I have here. Oh, a little bit of advertisement. You know.
For shirts and whatnot.
Shirts and albums, which it's kind of cool when they kind of add stuff like this.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Relapse Records does that too.
I got the bill, which I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah.
The invoice. Let's see the first album. Thank God I didn't order this album earlier. Psychotafla with Barak.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank God I didn't order it, because I was thinking of ordering. I was like, I think Hannah got me this. So that's one. Mm-hmm. Let's see what the other one is. Oh, more advertisement.
I think they threw that into every album, into every order.
Which, I don't mind. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Of course. Swing of the axe!
Power trip, motherfuckers!
Nightmare Logic, yeah!
We miss you, Riley.
God damn it.
Rest in peace.
Alright. And last, but certainly not least...
Solstafir.
Solstafir with Ota. Oh man, that's awesome. That's pretty fucking awesome. Even though some of the cases came in cracked, but I have some cases there.
Oh,
which
really?
Which
Some to replace, yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I know, but I have cases there, which I'll fix them later. But then again, thank you, Hannah, from Solstafir, Ota, Hyperlogic, Power Trip, and of course, Chai Kataflight with Vadak.
You're welcome.
So that's one. And now let's go with Levi. Let's go with the first one.
Yeah, because I got you two as well.
Yes. Alright. Let's see what we have here. Interesting. Now this one I actually do like. Dark Throne. Old stuff.
Yep.
That's a cool
my
album.
second favorite Dark Throne album.
Especially the hardship of the Scots.
With that, let me put my love into you riff.
Exactly. I love that riff, especially since it kind of palm muted it a bit. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
That's a one. Now let's go with the other one.
The other one. What could it be?
I wonder what it could be.
Wow. Back of the Moon.
Shocked you didn't have that in the collection already.
Good old Ozzy. I didn't have this one, actually. I've been trying to get more Ozzy albums, but this is a good-ass one. But
the first one with Jakey Lee.
Yes, but again, thank you. Now, on to Raphael. Let's see what we have. What's in the box? What's in the box?
All I can say is be careful when you open.
Yeah, I know. Trying to be very careful.
Open it on the table.
Okay. Just trying to. There we go.
Same goes for you, boy. You open your.
Yeah, I got the right here too.
All right. Damn it. There's something to hear about these kind of boxes. So they're kind of like hard, but I mean, the packaging is what counts. So
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Right. There's nothing in the box. Box empty.
And
Museo del Disco. Convertir todo en música latina y más. Let's see what I have here. Oh crap! Dio.
Last in line.
And of course, actually don't have any of this band. A shirt.
Oh, that's a killer shirt.
That's a cool ass shirt.
Yeah.
Damn. But again, thank you, Raphael. Thank you. Holy shit.
All right. Well, I'll start with the big box. I'll start out with the big box on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is Levi. Time to open his gifts. Let's see what wonderful gifts he's got to. Same thing goes,
There we go.
Careful.
Alright, I can definitely tell there's something soft and something hard in this one.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I was hoping you would go there. Trying to get the hard thing out.
That's what she said.
Alright, first up. Ooh, I don't have anything from this band until now. Malevolent Creation. Memories of a Beast.
I've seen it live.
I've been needing to get their first 2 albums, 10 Commandments and Retribution.
I know, it's 10 Commandments, that Retribution.
Alright, and then the shirt. Ooh! Well, Ricky, we're death buddies! Except I got Spiritual Healing. One of my favorite death albums. And an Excel. Actually, hang on, let me turn off the camera real quick so I can switch.
Mm-hmm. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Ow! Back of the moon.
So winter. Bark at the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits pretty well. I think maybe after a trip through the washer and I stretch it a little bit, it'll be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you, Raphael. I've always wanted to get a death shirt, so yeah, this is badass. And Malevolent Creations, Memory of the Beast. This one, try to remember when this came out.
I think that was one of the last few the original lead singer did.
Oh, with Brett Hoffman.
And if you're wondering, Ryan Taylor, which is now the new lead singer, yeah, he hasn't made an album yet.
Alright, so now to Ricky's presents.
Ooh. We're gonna like what I got you.
Mad Rush.
I just noticed something. Now we could be deaf buddies with Pixie since we all 3 of us have deaf shirts.
Oh yeah, that's true. Alright, first one. Oh jeez. Marduk, fuck me Jesus.
Yes.
Back when Dredd from Edge of Sanity was the vocalist.
Oh.
That's certainly something that you should show your parents.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, the other one.
It would not be. As even if they accept our metal, that would not be a good idea.
I have no idea why.
Shining Halmstad? Is this the Swedish Shining?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I know there's the Norwegian Shining, but yeah.
With Nicholas Quaff.
Yeah, so these will be fun to listen to. Thanks for those.
Oh, trust me, you have no idea what you're gonna get yourself into.
It's a joyous experience.
And now,
enjoy.
And now for Hannah's presents from Season of Mist.
No Miss Levi this year?
Yeah, it just says Levi. No Ms.
That was a mistake by the
postal.
Sure.
I forgot where I ordered it.
I think it was from Nuclear or Napalm last year.
Yeah, Nuclear Blast, I think.
Nuclear Blast, yeah. Alright, so first. Ooh, I've been needing to check out this band. Wormed with Meta Portal. Some cybernetic brutal slamming death. Yeah, I've been needing to check out Wormed.
I thought that might be fitting.
And then... Oh! And I was thinking of getting this one at some point, too. Hooded Menace, Ossuarium Silhouettes Unhallowed.
That's
I'm only missing 2 Hooded Menace albums: the Fulfilled a Curse and Darkness Strips Forth.
Yes, that's the other one that I originally wanted to order, but I did not have it in the online store.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all those presents, ladies and gents.
You're welcome.
I've definitely got a lot to shelf space to reorganize now.
Oh yeah, say with me.
Shelf all mines here. We're right here.
Well, those were quite fun. So now that we got the presents unveiled, let's talk about 2021 in metal. So this year, in terms of music for me, better than last year. But holy shit, there was a lot of great albums. So much to the point where I already did a video of my top 30 that I know nobody here has seen because they don't want to get spoiled for the top 10 at least. So, but I figured before we get into the actual list, let's go through some honorable mentions. I got 10 that I'll talk about here, and I'll try to go through them a little bit quickly. So, None Slaughter, Red is the Color of Ripping Death. Fucking awesome, old school, thrashy, punky death metal from Ohio. Just fucking love screaming whenever Dawn of the Dead, the vocalist, just yells, "Red is the color of ripping death!" I can't stop doing that. Then I got Panopticon, and again, Into the Light. So, also got Fear Factory, Aggression Continuum. Really, honestly, it's the end of Fear Factory. No matter what happens, Fear Factory is no more in my mind without Burton. That's just me. Enforced, Kill Grid, one of the best thrash albums of the year. Sounds like if Power Trip and Slayer had a demented child. Where was I? I lost my place. Oh, Accept, Too Mean to Die. Chemist, Deceiver. I really, really like that new Chemist album. But now to the ones, some of the ones, well, actually, I'll go through a couple of the others I don't have. In Mourning, The Bleeding Veil. It almost made the top 10, but it just missed out to a couple of others. Cannibal Corpse, Violence Unimagined, the best Cannibal album since Torture in my mind, and got Eric Rutan laying down some brutal solos. But now to the honorable mentions of albums I do have. First, At the Gates, The Nightmare of Being. The best album since Slaughter of the Soul, because they've gone prog now. Saxophone even on a couple of tracks to add some cool stuff. And probably one of the best At the Gates songs ever is on here, The Fall into Time, because at times it reminds me of bands like Cynic and Atheist. So yeah, At the Gates. Next up, Swallow the Sun, Moonflowers. Yeah, I thought it would make the top 10, but it just barely missed the cut, because a lot of competition this year. And then this one, I know everybody's going to be shocked it didn't go into the top 10, but again, what a year it was. Torn Arteries, Carcass.
Ooh. Wait, that's on my list. Well,
Some other albums just beat it out just barely. I still love that album. But yeah, Okay, Hannah, your honorable mentions.
Yeah, well, first of all, I have to say, did not have a lot of time, so I couldn't listen to a lot of albums that I wanted to because time just wasn't there, and yeah. But I still have a few honorable mentions, but before I start with my albums, I want to mention 2 EPs that I really enjoyed this year. And the first one, no, 3 EPs actually. And the first one is, the By Sacha Guru by Dharma, which is a death metal band, and they kind of managed to include this Buddhistic monk singing into their music, and it's a really interesting music mix, because on one hand you have this death metal sound, and on the other you have these chants, these almost like mantra-esque chants, and they're all authentic mantras, so it's not just some made-up stuff. It's really, those are real Buddhistic mantras, and that's what makes it interesting. And I can't wait what they will do with this kind of concept later on, and whenever they will release a full album, I certainly will be listening. Well, then we also have Triebe by Elende, which is a black metal band from Austria, and for quite a while I lost a bit of interest in Elende. I just couldn't get into their last album, but this EP, there's this really amazing song on there called Weltenacht, and the riffs on there are just beautiful and everything like that, and I really enjoyed listening to this EP, although it's only like 30 minutes long. And another EP that I really enjoyed is The Raging River by Call of Luna. And And the fact that they managed to get Mark Lanigan to sing on one of the tracks on Inside of a Dream is just amazing. And they actually revealed that they wanted to get him, I think, for another album of theirs, Somewhere Along the Highway, which is my favorite Call of Luna album. And they wanted to have him on one of the songs, but they were too shy to ask him. And and now that I know this piece of information, it really makes sense. And I really enjoyed this EP, and I can't wait.
And the new album coming here in a couple of months too.
Yeah, yes, I've already pre-ordered that, and I can't wait to get it. But now now let's focus on my favorite albums that are honorable mentions. And the first one is Sonata, Burning in Heaven, Melting on Earth. And this is a really doomy, sludgy kind of album. And the sound on here is just captivating. There's this warm sluggishness on the guitars that you hear all of the time. It's a bit like Sleep, it's a bit like Gojira at times, and it's a really interesting mix. And I think it's the first album, and I really enjoyed that. Been listening to it quite a bit. Then my next honorable mention is Grossa, The Repetitive End. And the first Grossa album is just a bad Migwa cover. And this one is something original. And if you want to listen to a good track from this album, just listen to The Elegance of Irony, which is a killer track. And this could have easily been on either a Panzerfaust or a Migwa album, but it got enough elements to make it stand out as something original and something of their own. And I think they are slowly starting to find their own style, and it's really nice to hear that, because the first album is just dreadful, and this is a huge step for them. And it's actually a pretty nice album, and I really enjoyed that one. Next off, I have The Body and Big Brave, a collaboration album, Leaving None But Small Birds. And I've listened to The Body before, and at times it's a bit too strange for me, but this collaboration with Big Brave works really well. It's almost like the collaboration between Bellwitch and what was the name? Ariel Ruin last year. It just makes sense. It's a lovely album to listen to, and I really enjoyed it. Well, next off, I have the Pan American Native Front with Little Turtles War, a raw black metal band from the US who also include Native American influences into the music. And I think as their first album, it's a really good effort. I think they can develop their style a bit more, and I'm curious to see where they're going to take their style, but regardless of that, it's a really interesting album about the battles between the Native Americans and the American colonizers and so on. So it's really interesting. And my final honorable mention is this. Mdu Mokta with Afrique Victime. And over the last couple of years, I've been listening to a lot of desert blues from Niger, from Mali and so on, from the Tuareg people. And Mdu Mokta, who's also labeled the Jimi Hendrix of the desert, is just an amazing guitarist. And I just love the intricate blues solos on here, and there's just something so foreign about the African, the Tuareg music that is on here, and it's just so captivating. And especially on tracks like Afrique Victime and Tala Tanam and so on, I have no idea what it's about, but you can feel the struggle and the war that the Tuareg people are going through the music. And just the other day, I found this tweet or Instagram post by Barack Obama, and one of the songs from this album was amongst his favorite tracks of the year, and that just shows how big the music scene from the Tuareg people is getting. And I was just so happy to see that they finally get a bit of recognition for the amazing music they produce. And I mean, just give this a listen. It's awesome, and I can highly recommend also the album before that. But I've Ilyana the Creator or something like that, which is also a great album. And I've been spinning this quite a lot. Yes, and that's honorable mentions for me.
Raphael?
I will mention my friend Andres, but he didn't put any honorable mentions on his list. Alright. The first one I have on my list, like, I know this is the only non-metal singer I have on my list. But I'm just gonna mention just because I did like the quality as far as Bad Habits, Ed Sheeran's Equal. The other one, this band, I mean, it broke my heart that Alex left the band. And Brandon, he's talented, but I really prefer him playing drums and singing. But now he's just doing full-time vocals. And dude, please grow your hair again. You look ridiculous. I'm sorry. I love you. You look like a neckhead. I'm sorry. I just have to tell you, you look like a neckhead. That is Treyu's Baptize. The other honorable mention I have is an EP, only 3 songs. This band has been through a lot, especially with fake accusations. When their original, second lead singer left, CJ McCreary, because the original one is now in Chelsea Grin. The original lead singer is now in Chelsea Grin, and the third singer did an amazing job with this EP, and I'm just waiting and dying for him to make the full-length album with the singer. This EP is literally called Lona Shore, and I Return to Nothingness. If you want to hear some good quality songs, listen to the Hellfire, Abyss, and I Return to Nothingness. Literally just 3 songs, people. It's not that hard, just 3 songs. But when the album comes out, you're not going to be disappointed. I'll tell you that. William, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing outstanding. The other honorable mention I have, which Levi already said, it's Carcass, Torn Arteries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I believe I have this album, and not the actual album, Chevelle's Nitoris or Nitruis. I'm pretty sure I don't know how to pronounce it correctly.
Man, Chevelle, I haven't listened to them in years.
Yeah, I haven't listened to Chevelle in a while.
I'll probably look for the album later. And the last one I have an honorable mention is Accept, Too Mean to Die.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for honorable mention.
Ricky?
So I have 9 honorable mentions, and this year was one hell of a year in terms of music. I mean, so much that there was a lot of albums I didn't have the chance to listen to, like the new Gojira, like Evil. I didn't have time to listen to them, but they're fucking amazing albums. But onto my honorable mentions, I have first In Mourning, The Bleeding Veil, which, my god, melodic death metal of its finest. Mwah, just perfect.
If Opeth and Insomnium had a baby.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Next up, I have Ghostbat with Self-Loather, a suicidal black metal from, I want to say from one of the Dakotas, I don't remember which, in North or South Dakota.
North Dakota,
but
I think.
It really shocked me, and thanks to Nick from Draws of Metal for actually putting this one of his videos, and actually the album cover made me want to listen to it. But, you know, me going into this knowing that suicidal black metal, and really this year I got more into suicidal black metal because of Shining and also some other bands I can remember. But, you know, this is actually a pretty good depressing album. I mean, if you want to put it when it's raining, it'll make you feel sad, but then again, that's the purpose of this album, the suicide black metal, to make you sad. So yeah. Next up, I have here Warm with Forever Glade, a funeral gothic death doom masterpiece from Tampa. My god, these guys are almost borderline, almost close to black metal. Oof! I mean, it's just good. I mean, the first song that they released Cloaked by Night Winds, which got me into the album, and good thing I pre-ordered. I actually pre-ordered this album when it first was released, but great album. Next up, I have Cannibal Corpses, Violent Imagine, probably one of the best albums they released in a long time. The previous one was good, but this one I think they kicked it up a notch, almost close to their, I guess, almost back to the roots in a way.
Back to like Eden Back to Life and Tomb of the Mutilated era.
Yeah,
Little
but nevertheless,
Life, maybe.
It was a great album. Next up, Archer mentioned its honorable mentions. Amenra, Death Durm. This is their first ever album released on a major label in Relapse Records. Before that, they had the Mass Saga, Mass 1 through 6, which I'm surprised they didn't put this album Mass 7. That was the most logical one. But this is 5 songs. The longest one being close to 13 minutes long, and it's just atmospheric post-metal. I mean, they're everywhere. I don't know. Amenra's one of those bands that it can just transcend from different genres. But my God, we haven't listened to Amenra. Give this guys a listen, and it's getting a lot more popularity because of a certain Malachi Black has one of the songs as his theme song, which good on Malachi Black for actually trying to get more out their music to the masses, which that has my vote. Next up, Dark Throne, Eternal Halls. Another great Dark Throne album. Like I said, lately the latest 2 albums, maybe 3, have been really going back to the roots, been developing more on their sound, been more not
classic
as much
metal
punk,
and doomy,
more classic metal oriented. I mean, you got good riffs, great lyrics. I mean, of course, it's freaking Fenris and Chronoculture being them, but it's a great album. Probably not in my top 5 favorite Dark Throne albums, but maybe like top 7, top 6, which it's a good album. Next up, 1914, Where Fear and Weapons Meet, which Hannah, thank you for introducing me to 1914. And I never saw that a band from
the Ukraine
would sing about World War One, which usually that's more of a like the Sabaton department. They would sing about World War One, World War Two, but these guys, they just they create this atmosphere that makes you feel like you're actually there. You're actually in the
middle of a battle.
In the battle of the field. You can feel, I mean, the screams to the musicality, just phenomenal. I mean, these guys, I don't know, this is what their 3rd album, 4th album, somewhere around. These guys, and these guys are blowing up. So if you ever have a chance to see them live, see them. I will go see them. Next up, Panopticon, and again, Into the Light. Again, Hannah, thank you for introducing me to Panopticon. Even though once you listen to the Mantle and Aguilar, you kind of like know what's gonna be in Panopticon. But again, if you like the Mantle, you're gonna love this album. It's atmospheric, has this kind of like bluegrass sound to it at times, more of a tribal vibe as well. But
I even like that during the album some death metal moments show up that reminded me of bands like Immolation.
They have some proggy stuff there, which I really enjoy. It's a phenomenal album. And last but not least, Tai Katafle Varak. This was hard to put in. I enjoy this album so much. I mean, you have no idea, like so freaking much. It was hard to this another album to go in the top 10, but I had to make some tough decisions. And again, Levi, Hannah and I have told you this before. Listen to Meta, especially that one song. Yes, I would love.
Oh, Levi, you have to do a live reaction to that one.
You have to.
Oh,
but
boy.
Yeah,
we now officially challenge you to do something like that.
But those are my honorable mentions.
Alrighty, now it's time for the top 10 itself for our lists. I shall start. I shall begin with number 10, 1914, Where Fear and Weapons Meet. Again, Hannah, what have you done to us? Because, yeah, it's a long album. It's long, but holy shit. The fucking heaviness that this album was able to project for Blackened Death Doom album, all about World War I, and the fact they got Nick Holmes from Paradise Lost and Bloodbath to guest appear on one track, it should go to show how this band is now, and that they're on Napalm Records, a big label now. I mean, for those who are watching this episode that's seen my top 30 list will know my full opinion about this album, so I'll just stop. Number 9, Obscura, A Valediction. I didn't think I'd give this album much of credit because it's like Obscura's always been a great band, but I felt like their past couple albums, they were great, but they started to kind of fall for me a little bit. Here, they get two of their old classic members back, Jura and Paul Throssen on fretless bass, and Christian Munzner back on guitar, even though he's got that weird condition with his fretting hand. But they come together with Stefan Kummer, which, by the way, I think this year was the year for Stefan, because not only was Obscura great, his melodic black death metal project, Thulkandra, was really good too. And for that album, if you like Old Dissection or Sacramentum or anything that's melodic black metal mixed with a little death metal, you will love Thulkandra. Sounds like Dissection worship done right. But with Obscura, I like how they kind of stopped going straight up tech death. There's a few of those tech death songs, but this felt more like a death metal sampler platter. Like, there's a couple of tech death tracks that sound like classic Obscura, some prog death, some death thrash, a lot of melodic death metal on this album, but some old school death metal, especially the song Devoured Usurper, where it's like morbid angel, immolation, death doom worship, because it's so heavy and slow. And Stefan's voice, he gets super low, whereas most of the album he's doing like almost like a Tampa from At the Gates kind of scream. But yeah, top to bottom. And the instrumental Orbital Elements 2, a worthy sequel to the original song, because everybody got moments to shine. Stefan, Christian, their drummer with an excellent drum solo, and Jurin on the fretless bass just killing it. Yeah, this definitely restored my faith in Obscura for sure. Granted, Acrosis and Delivium were great. They just weren't as great as the first three. But A Valediction was awesome. Number 8, now to the albums that I actually do have. Oh, yeah. Number 8. Number 8, Asphyx Necrosaurus. But yeah. Oh, number 7, eh? But yeah, Necrosaurus, best Asphyx album since Death Hammer, in my opinion. Incoming Death was great, but holy shit, they really found something here. Only one song on this album in D tuning, which was the thrashy Botox Implosion, where everything else it sounds like they went down to B. But yeah, songs like The Soul Cure Is Death, 3 Years of Famine, my favorite song of the year. Yeah, Botox Implosion, The Nameless Elite, the title track. Top to bottom, this is some of Asphyx's best work. Number 7, in my opinion, when it comes down to straight down the line, meat and potatoes, traditional death metal, Blood Red Throne Imperial Congregation.
I forgot to listen to Blood Red Throne, and we had Gunner on the show.
Shame on you, Ricky. Shame.
I know.
Shame.
I told you.
Shame.
It was a good year of metal. I mean, there was a lot that we still haven't scratched the surface.
I know. But yeah, top to bottom, this album is up there among some of the best Blood Red Throne albums. I'd say it's neck and neck with Monument of Death for the best. Conquered Malevolence, one of the best death metal tracks of the year. We All Bleed, starting out with that fucking almost decapitated groove. Zarathustra, so melodic, and it's like, yeah, as brutal as this album is, lots of great melody on here too, especially in the solos. And Gunner, our good buddy Gunner, killing it on bass. He's the Alex Webster of Norwegian death metal. So, fucking awesome shit right here with Blood Red Throne. Now, these next 6 are the perfect scores I've given over this year, because all these albums, I could make a case being at the top. Number 6, Between the Buried and Me, Collars 2.
Another one I didn't have a chance to listen to.
I mean, holy shit. Like, Between the Buried and Me, I said in the other videos, they were a band that always went over my head when it came to prog. Like, I always heard the name, never really checked out much of their music. I don't know what it was, but I gave this album a chance, and holy crap, I was blown away at the playing and the vocals. Like, Tommy Rogers going from death metal to hardcore to sounding like James LaBrie from Dream Theater on some songs. And the song Fix the Error is probably one of the catchiest songs of the year. And the music video to it is so bizarre.
So weird.
But, yeah.
It's fine. They also made a song called Alaska. Long time.
But yeah, that was my number 6. Number 5. Originally, this was going to be near the top, but it's fallen to a couple of others. Soen Imperial. Ricky's like, I hang my head in shame.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
But yeah, like, for the second album in a row for this band that I've listened to, I listened to Lotus when it came out 2 years ago, and that made my list for that year. Here, it sounds like someone going, I guess, a little commercial? I guess. It sounds like they're going that direction, but even at that, they're still writing great riffs and great melodies and great vocal parts. Monarch, especially, that song I still can't stop listening to.
Illusion!
No,
Yeah.
Monarch. Oh.
Lumerin, Fortune, Antagonist. Pretty much all these songs. For those who don't know Soen, think of it as a mix of old Opeth and Tool combined. I mean, after all, it's Martin Lopez,
Yeah.
And a bit of
former drummer of
Leprous.
Opeth.
Yeah. And a bit of Leprous. Just without the growls.
Yeah. And also the vocalist, he kind of looks like a Swedish Maynard James Keenan anyways.
I was going to say a much skinnier Devin Townsend.
That too. But number 4, it's Eternal Hail's Dark Throne. I think, like, ever since Underground Resistance 2013, they've just been on a roll, putting out classic-sounding metal albums with that blackened atmosphere. Wasn't the biggest fan of Arctic Thunder, though. It was good, but I felt like in that album they were trying too hard to go back to a black metal sound. They perfected it on Old Star, and this kind of matches Old Star in terms of the songwriting and the style they're going for. Granted, I like Old Star just a tiny bit more, but here, only 5 songs, but it leaves you wanting more. Which, when we get their 20th studio album, probably in 2 years' time, maybe 3 years, I expect it'll be just as good as these albums. It's like, yeah, Underground Resistance really started the ball rolling for the classic metal Dark Throne stuff. But here, they found something here. Hate Cloak, one of the best songs of the year. It sounds like Black Sabbath and Celtic Frost had a child. Wake of the Awakened, like that Motorhead energy. Voyage to a North Pole Adrift, and then Lost Arcane City of Apocra with that Moog sounding like Pink Floyd at times. But this isn't prog, it's still really stripped down, raw. And actually for the first time since Under Funeral Moon, I want to say, that they went to another studio to record and had somebody else produce the album. So, definitely made a difference, and it sounds like a late 70s, early 80s demo, and it's endearing. It's just one of the best. Number 3.
Try.
Ugh. These next three, I honestly could make a case for all 3 of these to be at the top, but at number 3, Hooded Menace to Tritonus Bell. I mean, the best Death Doom album of the year, in my opinion. Standard, it sounds like Hooded Menace going to like a classic metal route, like King Diamond, Merciful Fate, and Judas Priest, Metallica on here. And songs like the 2 best songs for me, Chime Diabolicus and Those Who Absorb the Night. Those 2 songs have been on heavy rotation. Well, then again, this whole album's been almost on repeat since I heard it at the end of August. It's fucking brilliant. Enough said. Now the top 2. I keep using this analogy, but it was really close between these 2, and I thought about flipping a coin. One of them's more recent than the other, so I've had more time to digest one than the other. And it's ironic. The one that I've listened to longest ends up at number 2. Evil Hell Unleashed.
Didn't he do the same thing when the Swallow Sun, when a shadow? I was like, I've heard this before.
Well, it's really this. It's the same case here. I can't. It was that close, but Hell Unleashed, the first Evil album in 8 years. A lot of lineup changes. Matt Drake not in the band anymore. Old Drake now taking over on vocals, and yeah, the vocals are the dividing point for this album because, yeah, they are a little bit mid-range, like in the same range. But it fits what they're going for here. Like, this is not really a thrash album. It's more death thrash. Like, it's so fast, so brutal. And even old Drake said that one of the big inspirations was Death. And, like, Possessed, Sodom, Old Sepultura. Like, there's some Slayer moments on here, but this feels more like Sodom, Old Sepultura, and Possessed kind of combined. And songs like Gore, Incarcerated, one of my favorites of the year, The Thing, 1982. Great version of Mortician's Zombie Apocalypse, which is great, but it's weird to hear that song clean because I'm used to the dirty mud of Mortician, but just awesome songs. Maybe for the next one, if old Drake will still be the vocalist, he'll be better by then, or if they get Matt Drake back, we'll see what happens, but hell of an album right here. And number 1,
Yes, I know which one it is. It's the only one that's top of my head.
Mastodon, Hushed and Grim.
Dear, look what you've done here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Mastodon, I don't think a Mastodon has really connected to me this much since Crack the Sky, or even The Hunter. I still love The Hunter. Sorry, Arthur.
I love The Hunter, too.
But yeah, this album feels like a combination of The Hunter and Crack the Sky combined. Like, it's got the prog moments from Crack the Sky, it's got the mainstream sensibility of The Hunter mixed together. And for the double album concept, like, Senjutsu was great, but I think Mastodon blew it out of the water in terms of doing the double albums. Because it's like every song just has so much to it. Probably also the most depressing Mastodon album, considering the backstory with what happened to their band manager who passed away from cancer couple of years ago, so this was like a tribute to their manager because he was an amazing friend of the band. But yeah, songs like Sickle and Peace, More Than I Can Chew, Skeletons of Splendor, one of the saddest songs of the year. Same with Had It All, and then songs like Gobblers of Dreegs. Oh my god. Braun Daler, I think vocal style achieved on here. The only complaint I could really have about this album is I wish Brent Hines could have gotten more than just one song for vocals, because I think his voice lends itself well to the studio albums. Maybe not the best live, but when the studio albums, he sounds like Ozzy. I would have loved to have heard more of that style, but Troy puts in a great performance, and Braun on vocals. They really found something here. But yeah, Hushed and Grim, my number one. If you have slept on Mastodon for a long time, I think this is a great album to kind of pick back up with them on, because holy shit, I might as well just shut my mouth now. Hannah, your list.
Yeah. Well, I this might be a surprise, but I only have one place on my number 10 where I have two albums, and that's number 10. Because I just couldn't.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I mean, this just shows that I did not have that much time to listen to music. Well, on my number 10, I have my only tie for this year, and that's mainly because I just couldn't kick off any of the two albums from my top 10 list. And the first one is the new album by Imperium, Über den Sternen.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the last Imperium album before that, Turn of the Tides, was kind of disappointing in my opinion. And on this album, Über den Sternen, it was such a surprise when it came out, because it felt fresh, yet still like the essence of Imperium is in there. And for me, it feels like one of the most complete albums they have ever released, and it's just such a nice album to listen to, especially the title song, or songs like a lucid tower beckons on the hills afar, moonrise, and it's just such a lovely album to listen to. And I keep listening to it in my car, and it's just such a nice album. And even my colleague said when he was riding along with me, "What's this?" And he really enjoyed it. And and that's why it's on my number 10, together with the new album Ice Fleet by Kawan.
Oh, I forgot that one. Honorable mention.
The thing is, when they announced this album and said that it will be a concept album just like Sony Nye, obviously expectations were high. Mm-hmm. And because Sony Nye is just such a perfect album. And then Ice Fleet came out, and I mean, story-wise, it's interesting, but not as interesting as Sony Nye. And the music is good, but it just doesn't compare to Sony Nye. Sony Nye is, in my opinion, the holy grail of Kawan. And this one, I mean, it's good. It's a lot better than the album that came out before. I even forgot the name, so that shows that I wasn't too much into the previous album. This one is a lot better. And if you listen to it from start to finish, it's a similar experience to Sony Nye, but not as deep and not as emotional and not as interesting as Sony Nye, but still a very good album. And I mean, I really enjoy it, but not as much as Sony Nye. Then on my number 7, I just have to jump on the Sam Dunn bandwagon with this one.
Gojira.
Yeah. I really like this album, and I love the tribal sound on there, especially on songs like Amazonia. I think that's in my opinion the strongest track on this album, alongside Another World, and it's just so captivating, the melodies on there and this industrial soundscape they create alongside the vocals of Joe Duplantier. I just love the album, but still my favorite album by Gojira will probably always be L'Enfant Sauvage, but still
From Mars to Sirius
is
for
one
me.
heck.
I was saying From Mars to Sirius for me.
Okay.
Mars is serious to me too.
Yeah, for me it's L'Enfant Sauvage. But 42 is certainly a very, very good album. On my number 8, I have to tease. Yes, but I won't do that since I'm a lady. Anyway, I have to tease Arthur now, because my number 8 is Wolves in the Throne Room with Primordial Arcana.
Another one that I didn't get a chance to listen to. I've heard
You
the
should.
first single,
You
and
should.
it is pretty good. The first single was pretty good.
Listen to Mountain Magic. That track is amazing. With Wolves in the Throne Room, I never was a big fan of that band until I saw them live for the second time supporting Behemoth. And during that show in Frankfurt, it just clicked, and I suddenly understood the music. And from all the albums that came out, I think this one is my favorite because it's so atmospheric, but there are these melodies in there, and it's just engaging, at least for me as someone who loves atmospheric black metal. And the songwriting on here is just phenomenal. Listen to tracks like Mountain Magic or Skyclad Passage, Underworld Aurora. Amazing. It's just an amazing album, and in my opinion, the best one Wolves have released. Yeah, that's Wolves in the Throne Room on number 8. Number 7, Soen, Imperial.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, like Levi said before, it feels like they're going slightly commercial, but still there are these intricate melodies and time changes on here that are just fantastic, on tracks like Monarch and Deceiver and Antagonist and so on. But for me, my favorite track on here is Illusion. It's kind of like a ballad in some sort of way.
It is a ballad.
But it's just, for me, it's just so well written, and I love the lyrics on that song. And I think the vocals of the singer, although I don't know his name, are getting better and better. That's one of the things I did not like as much on previous album, like Lotus. His vocal performance is still great, but there was something missing. If you compare Soen to other bands like Leprous or so on, where obviously Einar Solberg has amazing vocal chops that he can rely on, and here it's a bit different. Here it's more about the music. Great album.
And Martin Lopez
yeah.
has not missed a beat.
Yeah. And next, let's start with war metal, or bands singing about World War I, and I have several of them on my top 10 list, and this is one of them, Kanonenfieber, Menschenmühle. When I saw this cover, I just had to listen to it, and the more you listen to it, the better the tracks get on here. It's just very, very well executed German black metal, talking about World War I, of course, and the thing that's interesting, at least for me, or what caught my attention first beside the cover, is that they include snippets of political speeches, for example, by Emperor Kaiser Wilhelm II, by Paul von Hindenburg and so on. All these German generals and figureheads and leaders of the Reichs of the German army during World War I, and it's just me as a history nerd, it's just clicks and connects with me. Listen to Die Schlacht bei Tannenberg. That's one hell of a song. Or Dicke Bertha. And then there's this acoustic track on here, Verscharrt und ungerühmt. I just love those songs on here. Or Im Niemandsland. It's very dear to my heart, this album, and I can highly recommend it. Then next, let's head into a totally different direction. Melodic death metal.
Oh, I forgot.
Jotun Access All Worlds.
Nice.
When I heard the first single of this album, The Tower of Cosmic Nullity,
Pink Floyd. Pink fucking Floyd.
It's like Amon Amarth went totally insane and tried to include Pink Floyd elements on their album. Just the just the guitar solos on here and the sheer craziness of the music that you get on this album, together with the amazing vocal performance on here. I mean, whether it be it the clean singing or the operatic singing or the growls, it's just perfect. The vocal performance on this album is fucking fantastic, especially since it's the debut album of this band. It's just amazing. Listen to the Weaver System, listen to the Tower of Cosmic Nility, listen to Access All Worlds or Waves Below. Every fucking song on here is amazing, and in the last few years, I've kind of lost track of a lot of melodic death metal bands, but this is a bit like an Abstract Illusion, a bit like Amon Amarth, but better. It's just a phenomenal album. Then let's return to the war metal, 1914. Where fear and weapons meet. Sadly, Napalm Records haven't sent me the vinyl yet because of delays in the factory, but I will get that one eventually. This album, I mean, just like The Blind Leading the Blind, it's about World War I, and it starts out with the assassination of the Austrian emperor in Sarajevo, I think, in Bosnia, and on the track FN 380 ACP and so on, and that track alone is fucking fantastic. And the little acoustic song thrown into the mix kind of separates the album into two parts. But it's just so amazing how everything flows together and how brutal every part is, and you feel like you're really in the middle of a battle and so on. And the fact that they could get Nick Holmes all contributes to the fact that this album is simply amazing. Like all 1914 albums, it starts with War In and ends with War Out, so there's a consistency there in the discography, and for me, they haven't disappointed me one bit with the music they've released so far, and this album is just phenomenal. I love it. But now to the top three. Three. It's almost like I ordered some crap. Like one of my students. Let's now move to the top three. And the thing is, all three albums on here are so goddamn good, and they're basically interchangeable, so each one could easily be on number one. I had to rank them, but it's not really a solid order. It could change any second, any minute, any day, and so on. Number three, Vadak by the ADATA flag. It's just such a lovely album. I think my favorite still, the ADATA flag album still is Meta, but this one is so goddamn close. The opener, Svarvas, the melody on there is just so captivating, and there these weird rhythms that keep changing makes everything so unpredictable yet interesting. It's just such an interesting piece of music. I think one of my favorite songs on here is Molo, which is over 10 minutes long, or the title track, Vadak, or the instrumental Kishiko Kene Dala. I keep getting back to this album, and the more I listen to it, the more I love it, and it's just a phenomenal piece of music. And I can't wait what Tomasz will release next.
We released the Meta album.
Yes, I want to get that on vinyl, but I haven't managed to find it. And I've even messaged Season of Mist, but they said, no. Assholes. Well, number two.
Really?
Yeah. But it could easily be number one, Panopticon. And again, Into the Light. Well, my relationship with Panopticon is just like a big romance. I love everything they do. And this album follows along the line. It's the follow-up of The Scars of Men on the one's name is Wilderness, which I totally loved, although there were quite a few people who did not like that album, but I loved it. The separation between black metal and folk on album 1 and album 2. And this one just starts where The Scars left with And Again Into the Light, this nice instrumental, and then we jump straight into Dead Loons. And they managed to get the guy from Aerial Ruin on The Embers at Dawn, which is just a beautiful track. And the way it develops and evolves and gets bigger and bigger and heavier from this folky tune to the full-on black metal track is just fantastic. And I think my favorite song on here is No Hope, because it's just such an uplifting song. And it was the first album released from this album. The first track released from this album is just so beautiful, especially the lyrics and this little passage in the middle of it where you have this political speech in there. I don't really know where they got that from, but it's just awesome. I love it, and I'm so happy that I managed to get the vinyl because it's sold out so quickly. Mm-hmm. Yes, and then my number 1. What could it be? What could it be? Surprise, surprise.
I forgot to check that one out.
Ruins of Beverage.
Oh, Levi, if you like Hooded Menace, you should check out this one. So, the Thule Grimoires by the Ruins of Beverest. I don't know, I just love this band, and this album moved even more into the doom direction than the predecessor Exuvia, so it's even doomier, and the sound is just so dense, and but on this album, the rhythms and so on, the music itself flows a bit slower, but that's just the density of music that you get is just so interesting. Here they experimented a bit more with clean singing, for example, on the track Anchors in First, which is a phenomenal track. And also the album Closer, Deserts to Bind and Defeat. I mean, you just feel like you're in a cave, you're encapsulated by these massive walls of sound, and the drumming here is so amazing. I mean, Alexander von Meilenwald, obviously, of course, was a drummer, and he just showcases his brilliance every single moment on this album. He's a fantastic songwriter, a fantastic singer. The fact that he now sings clean and it works is just proof of that. And the music on here is brilliantly written. I just get caught in the music and I can't stop listening to it. It's so fucking fantastic. And I listened to it the other day. I mean, it came out quite early in 2021, and I still love it as much as the first time I listened to it, and it's just amazing. And I hope I will catch them live again, because their concerts are just fantastic. So if you haven't listened to that one, give it a chance and give it a try.
I know I need to. Raphael.
Alright, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mention my friend Andres' Metal Ball Z's list. For number 10, again, Brandon, please grow your hair. You look like a freaking egghead, man. I love you, but you look like a freaking egghead.
He probably can't.
He could. He just keeps shaving it off. If you can grow a beard, you can grow his hair again. Who knows? Anyway, he put Treyu Baptist. For number 9, he put Cannibal Corpse Violence in Unimagined.
Unimagine.
For number 8, it'll come eventually. Anyway, number 8, if you like good Russian music or deathcore or any good Kwai Russian, and I would say this is one band that they have some fucking badass masks. Like, you look at their masks, you're just like, I want one. I want one. I want that mask. That mask is amazing. And it's not like Slipknot that they have their ideas from Halloween. This was a bit more demonic, and it was actually handmade by the lead singer himself, named Alex Terrible, and he has his own merch place called Russian Hate Project, and a solo career called Russian Hate Project, and that is his band is called Slaughter to Prevail, and their new album is called Costalum. I'm pretty sure I pronounced it wrong. Sorry, Alex Terrible. But
Costalam, I think.
Yeah, Costalum, yeah. But that is some good. If you like Russian music, you should definitely check out Slaughter. Even though they sing English, but come on, Russian have a lot of great bands, and they need to get the respect they deserve. For number 7, Ice Nine Kills. The Welcome to Horrorwood Silver Scream 2. Not 1, because 1 came, I believe, like 2019, or 2. If you like a horror themed band or anything based on horror, like as far as Michael Myers, Jason, Chucky, that's all your favorite type of themed bands, you should definitely check out Ice Nine Kills. And yes, Ricky is a master of. That's why his nickname is Horror Master. Yeah. And number 6, as I already mentioned and my arms mentioned, this is an EP. Only 3 songs, because full-length album probably will come out next year, hopefully with their new lead singer. Lona Shore and I Return to Nothingness. For number 5, he mentioned Mastodon, Hush, and Grim, which Levi mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, already been mentioned, Carcass, Torn Arteries. For number 3, he chose, which is on my list, Signs of the Swarm, Absorber, which you like good quiet deathcore. And for a lot of people who don't know this, the original lead singer of that band used to be in Lona Shore. His name is CJ McCurry. He left that band a long time ago. Now with their new lead singer, made Absorber good. And you should definitely check out one of the music video. If you don't know what one of the music video stands for as far as theme, spoil for you, it has to do Venom. Something related to Venom. That's all I could say. For number 2, he chose Rivers of Nile.
Rivers of Nile, the word.
Word.
Yeah, he's
another one I forgot to listen.
I forgot about that one too.
Yeah, Nile's Rivers of Work. Yeah, he spelled it like in a way like kind of reversed. But and for number 1, he has Blood Moon, Converge.
Big bag Converge, but
Now moving on to mine.
Wasn't it a collaboration, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, with Chelsea Wolfe, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
To that.
All right, for my list, I chose number 10 for Bullet from My Lifetime's Bullet from My Time. Number 9, Asking Alexandra, See What's on the Inside. Number 8, Trivium's In the Courts of the Dragon.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Another album I forgot to listen.
That's a good one.
Number 7, even though I haven't heard of this band in a while, I'm actually glad that they finally released it now after all these years. It's Evanescence, The Bitter Truth.
Another one. I forgot to listen to the new Evanescence.
Number 6, I chose Frozen Soul, Crypt
of Ice, yes, the best debut of the year, if you ask me. It's Bolt Thrower Worship. Artur would love that album if he hasn't heard it already.
I agree. Number 5, I chose Spirit Box, Internal Blue. By the way, lead singer of Spirit Box is a girl. Just gonna point that out there. And she's kind of cute. Number 4, Gojira. The
Fortitude.
Fortitude.
Of course.
Iron Maidens for a comeback,
Senjutsu.
and also I am so damn happy they now work with freaking Marvel. They work for Marvel.
I know that of all
That's so
things.
weird.
If Stanley was still alive, I would learn to Stanley. Hey, bro, I love you, but I need to meet Bruce Dixon too, man. Come on. Marvel. Stanley, rest in peace, man. But damn, man, you should have just seen the atmosphere. Yeah, Iron Maiden, Senjutsu.
Senjutsu.
Senjutsu. Number 2, I already mentioned, if you guys notice in the Andres list, which Metal Ball Z's is Discord name. Number 2 is Ice Nine Kills, Welcome to Horrorwood, Silver Scream 2. Not to be confused with 1, it's 2. You like I said, you like anything based on Chucky, Michael Myers, Jason, you should definitely check it out. You should definitely check out Ice Nine Kills. And I want to see them live, but sadly, the only concert available that they have as far as here, where I live, is in freaking Orlando, and I am not going to drive 4 hours just to go see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to, but no. And number 1, Signs of Storm Absorber, which I am going to see that band live next year in respectable streets in West Palm. I will drive 1 hour, but I will not drive for hours. So if you guys are, if any one of you are available, come meet me in respectable streets. I'll be happy to give you some autographs if you want. Right, and that's it for my list.
All right, Ricky.
Woo! Alrighty. So with number 10, I have Carcass Torn Arteries. Now, I'm going to say this right now. This is not as good as Surgical Steel, but my God, it's fucking packs a punch. I mean, the title track Torn Arteries, Under the Scaffold Blade, The Devil Rides
Flesh
On.
Ripping, Sonic Torment Limited. Their longest song, 10 minutes of just riffs.
The sides remoting swing, which, I mean, Carcass is Carcass no matter what, but also the way that they package this thing, I mean, look, it's a fucking heart made up Hot Chili Peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of adds to that comedy-esque thing that Carcass is known for, but
and a knife.
Like,
yeah, and you haven't, and if you haven't seen the deluxe edition that comes with the vinyl on the CD with the 2 forks and the plate, which looks fucking beautiful. I mean, it gets to show that Carcass still pucks a punch. I mean, Carcass is fucking Carcass. My number 9, Iron Maiden, Senjutsu. Now, I know why Archer didn't add it on his list. He had enough honorable mentions. To me, this album is phenomenal. It's a good album. I think the first half of the album to me is phenomenal. I think all the tracks are amazing, from the title track to the Writing on the Wall, Lost in Lost Time, Days of Future Past, The Time Machine. I think those are great songs. It starts to get more daunting and more, I guess, hard to listen to by the second half of the album, which they're more longer songs, which, don't get me wrong, I love long songs, but back to back long songs, it kind of gets a bit much. Which, I mean, to the credit, I mean, it's Maiden. I guess they want to be more adventurous, more. Yes, I know it's the more proggy-esque, which I know Archer's been begging for Maiden to go back to their roots in a way. But you know what? It's Maiden. It still fucking kicks ass. And just look at Eddie, a fucking samurai Eddie. What more can you expect from freaking Eddie? And again, I was shocked that actually Maiden made a deal with Marvel to actually put Eddie in their comics, which I'm gonna probably pick those up when they come out on sale.
And also, Hell on Earth, one of the best Maiden closing songs ever.
Well, that next to probably Hallowed and Empire of the Clouds, but that's a different story.
And Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Yes. My number 8, is the only tie I have on my list, and it's by the same band. I have here both Let Me Drown on You and Per Absenda ad Astra by Rise to the Sky.
Nice.
2 different albums, even though they're still melodic death doom. This one's a bit more adventurous than this one. This one's a bit more sadder because unfortunately, Sergio lost his father during the recording before he recorded this album. So you have that element of sorrow, that feeling. So you kind of put that emotions into the album, and it fucking created a good album. But again, both albums are phenomenal. To me, again, I love Rise to the Sky. I love what Sergio does with being a one-man death doom project from Chile. It's rare when you get those kind of projects, especially in Chile. You don't hear that much about Chilean metal, even though even if you're like really into the Chilean metal scene. But my God, if you love like mellow death doom, kind of Swallow the Sun-esque, you're gonna love Rise to the Sky. My number 7, again, sticking with more death doom. This time a bit more into the more aggressive side of death doom with Asphyx. Martin Van Buren, probably one of the best death metal vocalists up there, next to probably somebody like fucking Chuck or somebody like
John
freaking
Tardy,
John Hardy. Yeah, I mean,
Michael
my God,
Ockerfeld, Frank Mullen. I can go on and on.
And to think that he's almost in his 60s, and my God, he still sings fucking amazing. That raspy ass voice that he
Torturous
has.
scream, yeah.
Yes. I mean,
The high guttural.
3 Years of Decay. My God, it's probably my favorite song of the album. Has that bit of that harsh death doom, but also goes melodic. That mellow guitars, that beautiness of the album. And that album cover, my God, I mean,
and that main riff,
fucking evil.
and the main riff of 3 Years of Famine remind me so much of Overkill's Skull Crusher, and then that clean break reminded me a bit of like To Live Is to Die by Metallica, a little bit.
Yeah, but again, another phenomenal album by Asphyx. Go fucking listen to it. My number 6, it is probably the most adventurous album out of my entire list. Mastodon, Hush, and Grim. When I first heard this was a double album, I knew this was gonna be a album of the year contender. Once I popped it into my laptop, the first song, Pain with an Anchor, my God, the way it starts, oh my dear, that alone made me like know this one was gonna be great. And then it gets into Second Piece, The Beast, Pushing the Tides, Had It All. My God, it's a fucking ballad of all things. But Gigantia, my fucking God. I mean, this is probably one of their best albums since Crack the Sky. Not to mention that Emperor of Sand was, again, phenomenal album, but this one just like, it was like a bit better, more adventurous. It just went more out there. This is what Mastodon represents it should be. I wouldn't be surprised if this one later becomes like a top 5 contender for Mastodon in the years to come.
Yeah.
Now on to the top 5. At my number 5, I have here Object Room with Painted Mind. Now, Object Room is a kind of a mellow death doom post-metal band. They go everywhere, but they're usually death doom. And the best way I can describe their sound is Pink Floyd on acid, but to the point of acid that makes you freak the fuck out. That makes you see stuff that you don't want to see. But musically, they're fucking amazing. If you see the freaking music videos, it's like a story of this guy who's trying to, kind of like The Wall, trying to kind of break from society, but at the same time wanting to stay in this little comfort zone. And it's really beautiful. It's my favorite song has to be Bridge to the Soil, when it kind of has a lot of black metal moments, a lot of post metal, which I kind of am starting to, I guess, like post metal ish in a way when it's mixed with a lot of different subgenres. But I mean, this album's amazing. I mean, even look at the little little artwork they have in it. It's just pictures speak louder than 1,000 words. So there's that. Number 4. This one was originally was gonna be probably the number 1 at the album of the year, but then again, other albums came up. Mariana's Res Fata Morgana. This was the first pre-order I did this year, and the best way I can describe it is if Insomnium and Swallow the Sun had a beautiful, beautiful child. Again, a bit more post-metal oriented Death Doom, but melodic, and not to mention that Lindsay Schoolcraft sings backing vocals in the entire album, and that made me even more want to get the album since I love Lindsay Schoolcraft. But I mean, if you like I said, Insomnia and Swallow the Sun from the Finnish scene, you'll fucking love this album. Especially the song The Wait, or even the title track Fata Morgana is very, very, very dark but beautiful. There's that. Number 3. And I hate that I'm gonna do this at number 3. Soen. Imperium. Thanks to Hannah for introducing me to it, Soen. I first when she introduced me to Soen, I thought, oh, this is gonna be some black metal heavy shit, knowing that she's the black metal expert of the group.
I don't always listen to black metal.
Exactly. But once I popped it in, I was like, wait a minute. This isn't black metal.
This is prog.
This is like prog, more like commercial metal. Not really commercial, we know they kind of went commercial in this one. But I fucking loved it. I mean, every single song is fucking amazing. The antagonist, the fucking music video, it was like as the reporter slowly turning to Satan himself. Fortune is a good track. Deceiver is a good track. Illusion, perfect ballad. But to me, Monarch is a standout song. That probably has to be my song of the year, because I remember I was listening to that song constantly. I want to say when I first discovered the album, especially the ending. Who are the ones we are sending to die? They are the ghosts on the time. That's so sad, but then again beautiful. And if you haven't listened to Soen, fucking picked up Imperial, or listen to Lotus like I did. I fucking listened to Lotus after listening to this,
Lotus.
and God, this was amazing. This is kind of the over of the year in a way, if you get that reference. My number 2, Hood and Menace, the Trentress Bell.
Nice.
This was my first Hood and Menace album I actually got on physical media, and Death Doom hardcore, more straight up Death Doom, but at thrash, black metal, prog, mellow. It has everything. It's kind of like, and the whole King Diamond thing, which really shocked me, that actually went to more King Diamond-esque sound to it. But
produced by Andy LaRocque from King Diamond.
Yes, but to me, the song that stood out the most, Those Who Absorbed the Night, especially the ending riff, the dun 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 dun. I mean, and this is probably, I'm gonna get more Hood and Menace eventually in the year. Now, number one. If y'all know me, you kind of know that I've been having a little bit of a
romance,
a bit of a Death Doom, I guess, awakening. And if this wasn't released this year, a bit, yeah. But this album came out of nowhere. I didn't think this was gonna be released this year. I thought it was gonna be probably released by next year, but we got it this year. And of course, my number 1 for the second year since we've done this podcast. This is the first band, in my opinion, that has gone 2 album of the year crowns. Swallow the Sun with Moonflowers.
Surprise, 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 surprise.
Now, This album is a bit different than When a Shadow. When it came out, it was a more sad album because, of course, Juba lost Aaliyah before that time. And after that, it felt like Juva was finally beginning to, I guess, cope with the loss of Leah. So he was trying to, I guess, move on. And then, of course, last year the pandemic happened, and of course the tours got canceled, postponed, and all that. And Juha, unfortunately, went back into that dark place that he didn't want to go back to. And of course, when you're in solitude, you do crazy stuff. And for him, he wrote songs, he wrote lyrics to the point that this came to existence from the album cover. He created in his own fucking blood the little red moon in his own blood with flowers that he picked up on the death of Aaliyah. He put them together. So again, adds more personal touch to it. And to the fact that Juba has stated that he hates the album. Not because it's a bad album, not because of the production, but because it made him go into that place he didn't want to go back. He didn't want to go back to that place that made him so angry, which this album is
it's more angry. It's like
angry.
Whereas When a Shadow is like dark melancholy, that's dark anger right there.
Yeah.
It sounds more like old school Swallow the Sun. There's only one song on that album that feels like it could have been on When a Shadow, The Void. And then I like how they went straight up black metal on the final track.
Yeah, I mean to me, Swallow the Sun is pure perfection. They can do no wrong. From releasing the string version first, which is kind of rare that a band releases a string quartet version first, and then the actual album, usually the other way around. Again, shows more how Swallow the Sun is able to express themselves. If not only that, after they released the album, they fucking released a 1 hour kind of like a movie-ish animation of the entire album, which, again, I fucking love that. It shows that the band wants to express themselves in more different ways. And that's the thing I love about Swallow the Sun. They express themselves in so many ways that everything that they do is gold. Everything is perfection. And I want to add this little thing. The live album they released earlier in the year, this kept me in check, insane, for not actually seeing them live 2 times in a row. Last year, I was hoping to see them live this year, but unfortunately, because of work, I couldn't see them live. But this kept me insane, from the live tracks to the live out, the freaking live home video that they recorded in Helsinki, which was in 2020, in February 26, 2020, and just watching this over and over again made me excited. I mean, to the point that my fucking battle vest is almost a Swallow the Sun shrine. Tribute vest. I've talked about this before. Swallow the Sun has saved me so much the past couple of years. This, again, saved me again for different reasons, but you know what? Swallow the Sun, thank you for everything you've done for my life. Thank you for all the things you've done to keep me in check, but I could go on forever and forever, but just listen to Moonflowers. And in regards to, is it better than When a Shadow? It's not as better, but it comes close to it. To me, When a Shadow and Songs for the North are like top 1, top 2. This one, if I were to rank it, I would probably put it like 3 or 4. I want to say 3, 4, maybe 5, but phenomenal album. And once again, for the second year, album of the year.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, that does it for this list. Woo! And yowie, I should say. But real quick before we go, a little reminder of the next couple of episodes we have coming up. We're gone until sometime January. We're hoping to get Jeremy Wagner from Broken Hope on for that interview that we've been teasing for months. But apart from that, the next list episode is what, top 10 punk albums next?
Yeah, which that would be kind of difficult. I'm gonna have to listen to more.
Yeah, because I'm not the biggest punk guys, but that will be interesting to see.
Well,
We
my next top 10 list will be top 10 diary entries about New York from my students.
We might have to get somebody who's a bit more punk into the podcast for that episode. I mean, it would be kind of fun.
I mean, I'll have a bunch of albums.
Yeah, I'll have a bunch of albums too.
But then after that, it's the top 10 gothic metal albums.
Yes.
And then after that, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Atmospheric black metal.
No, it was the metal and pop culture discussion.
Atmospheric black metal.
I mean, I'm gonna say this right now. Next
Pink
year,
Floyd.
we gotta have Pink Floyd, up top to Pink Floyd albums. I mean, songs. A Death Doom episode, a Swallow Sun episode, and
Metallica Master of Puppets episode or something.
No, Nightside
or
Eclipse
Bathory episode.
Nightside Eclipse.
What was it say? A lot of people that don't know is Lockhorns Bradley is one of the merch people for Signs of Storm and for the band Brand of Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Bradley, yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, I hope we can get Bradley into the show. We were supposed to have him later
ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to him up there, see if he, dude.
And also, we need to do a crossover episode with Thralls of Metal.
Yes, and I would love if we could have Blaine in the show as well. I like Blaine. I mean, he's a Death Doom guy. I'm a Death Doom guy. Maybe the perfect match.
We probably should have Daniel DK again.
Yeah, we need to get him and James McBain together on an episode.
Him, James, and Gunner.
I've even messaged the three of them about that idea of doing a supergroup, and they said they'd be down if they can get the timing right. Because then again, it's Canada, Scotland, and Norway. They just need to find a drummer, and then they're all set. Black and the Death Thrash would be that band. With James on vocals and guitar, DK on guitar, Gunner on bass. They just need a drummer.
I would do drummer, but I'm not good.
If I was better at drums, I'd join.
I would join straight off the bat.
But with all that said, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the new year, and hopefully.
Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Próspero año y felicidad.
And hopefully,
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I'll stop.
And hopefully, by the time the next episode comes out, we can go live again. Fuck you, internet connection upload speed, for going to poop today. I don't understand it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Horns high, and we'll see you in the next one. Jackass. Oh my god!
No, please! I beg you!
Are you
Listen! We have an understanding! I don't like you! Just accept...
Tails, it's time for you to die! Tails, come back here! Tails,
Yeah, of course!
come back here!
Let me, Again? Wow. Wow. This is the most action I've gotten.
Quit sniffing, assholes, and come stay free.
Yeah! Knew it! No!
No! God, I told you, man.
Wow. Wow.